What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Seals Pod. I'm your host, Teddy Jenner, and this week we're joined by inaugural, original, and one of the good guys, our favorite Reinholdt, Tor Reinholdt. Buddy, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. How you doing, Teddy?
I'm good, man. Life is good here on the island. You're on the mainland. Neither of us are in San Diego right now, but we would love to be.
I'm actually I'm on the plains there. I'm in Calgary.
Oh, I thought you were. So it's still technically the mainland, right?
Yeah,
it's still
motherland.
What have you been up to, man? Obviously, the big news for you is you're a dad now.
Yeah. So March 14th. I had a little son, and it's been pretty good. I don't have obviously a huge role in it yet, but everyone warned me beforehand about the sleep and the lack of sleep, and I was like, how bad could it be? I tough it out, but it wears on you a little bit. So
harder to sleep on a plane, or harder to sleep with a baby in the house?
Baby, for sure. Yeah. I have no problem on the plane. No problem.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate guys like you, man. I cannot sleep on planes. So Rhodes is doing well. He's a few months old, and mom is doing well and everything.
Yeah, everyone's doing well. I actually got a week here by myself. They're out visiting family in the Okanagan. So it's been a good week, getting to do a little bit of golf and working a little bit little later, and getting everything done that I want to get done. So
are we allowed to be jealous of Cam and Wes and those guys that got to play Torrey Pines before the US Open?
100%. Yeah. They'll be taking us when we get down there.
100%. 100%. What have you been up to? Obviously, you obviously have a kid now. That's taken up a lot of your time. But what else have you been up to? Just trying to keep the mind ready and just try to battle through this COVID break that we've all been going through.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a grind. As everyone has a different thought on the situation, and I was lucky enough to work throughout the whole pandemic. So that's been keeping me pretty busy. I work for a construction company, project estimator, project manager. So pretty lucky getting to do that. So that filled up a lot of time. I wish there was more lacrosse, but you can only watch so much film, and the winter was pretty slow as well out here. It was cold. I did a little bit of skiing. Even the gyms, right? I got back to the gym a little bit, then they shut down. So I'm just getting back into the gym again. Hopped on the Peloton train.
There you go.
So we got on there for a bit. Cam and Dogger, we would get on there and battle it out. It was pretty funny. Cam goes hard. He one of the rides, he FaceTimed me afterwards, and he's got his head in the toilet throwing up. So we've been trying to keep busy that way. Everyone jumped on the Zooms and the FaceTimes, right? So we did a little of that, poker games, and so
it's tough to not be around the guys, but at least we have ways that we can still kind of connect, whether it's Zoom or FaceTime or just calling and texting guys. Who's the guy that you're missing the most that you just can't wait to see?
Oh, that's a really tough question, but Cam and Wes are my two guys. I mean, there's so many though. I miss everyone, right? But Wes and I used to live together, so and we grew up together, so he's pretty close buddy.
You and Wes are Coquitlam guys, right? Did you grow up together, like all through minor and all that?
No, he's 3 years younger, so I always missed him, or he missed me. But my brother played with him,
right? Of course.
And we went to the same high school, and so he was always around. His brother's my age, so we always crossed paths.
Was having a kid kind of always on your plan, or did it happen luckily enough because of the pandemic that you guys just kind of had some free time to start some baby making?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned. We talked, we're not married.
Okay.
But we both wanted a family. So it's something we talked about. Yeah, it happened a little earlier than we planned, but couldn't be happier. Like it happened for a reason. So yeah, we jumped. Well, you have no choice. So we jumped in with, 2 feet in, and yeah, we're really enjoying it. So he's starting to smile and get a little bit of a personality, right? Because at the beginning they just sit there and do nothing. So yeah, it's cool though. I love it.
You mentioned your brother Reed, who's with the Toronto Rock. He's also the new with the PLPA now as one of their leaders. How's he as an uncle so far?
He's been pretty good. He calls himself Funkle Reed. Fun
I
uncle.
use the Funkle terminology too.
Yeah, you got that one too.
Yeah.
You got that title. Yeah. So he's doing good. He came out a few weeks after. So we got a shirt made up that said Funkle, and then kind of had the description underneath what it was. So yeah, we made him and his girlfriend Meg made them a couple shirts, and yeah, we're excited to see them here shortly in the Okanagan. So
perfect. Are we going to get some swag from brother Reed for the NLLPA? Like, we need some new gear, right?
they're working on it. Yeah. So the NLLPA, yeah, it's kind of cool. Their new logo, kind of, yeah, it's just a new, I guess, leadership. So they're flipping the page, not to forget anything in the past or by any means, but I personally thought it was a great idea, and it kind of jives with the rest of the pro leagues, right? So you got the NHLPA, you got the NFLPA, so it kind of just made sense.
What's Limestone like? I'm not a fan of Gaffney, South Carolina, because the one time I went there, you guys were too scared to play us because it was a little bit rainy on your field. But how much fun did you have as a Saint?
Well, it was pretty fun beating Merrimack, I'll tell you that. Minus my last year. I don't want to talk about that. But I think were you at that game?
No.
Oh, you weren't? I thought
I'm a Mercyhurst guy, not a Merrimack guy.
Oh, sorry, Mercyhurst.
That's all right.
My bad.
It's okay.
2 M's. Right?
Yeah, 2 M's. We missed each other by a few years, but the Mercyhurst Limestone rivalry was always big. Limestone Merrimack, Mercyhurst Merrimack. Now Lemoyne is unbeatable lately, but Limestone was a powerhouse in 2000, mid 2000s, and still are a pretty talented team. What was your time like there?
It was pretty fun. Definitely, I agree with you. Gaffney is a unique place for sure. It's in the middle of nowhere. When you say South Carolina, I kind of leave it at that because everyone thinks of beaches and like Myrtle Beach or Charleston.
It is far.
But when someone asks me, I say, yeah, South Carolina, and I don't have to explain to them too much more. But yeah, it was definitely in the middle of nowhere, small town, very small school.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool in the respect that we had our team there. We had a bunch of Canadians on the team, so we had a really good bond with everyone. You didn't really get lost, like you didn't go to practice and then you didn't see them the rest of the day or whatever. They're typically in your classes, and a lot of these D2 schools are like that. So I quite enjoyed it that way. Small classes, so your teachers or professors, whatever you want to call them, are you can ask them questions and you're not in huge lectures. So yeah, overall,
it's more personal
I like
that way, right? Like where you go to some of these big schools and classes are 100 people and you're just a number, not a name. Whereas I was the same way at Mercyhurst. You had like 10 people in your class and you can sit down with your teacher and talk for 10 minutes after, or, you can send them an email and it's not getting lost in the files or anything like that. It's a really cool experience that way.
Yeah, so I agree. And
what did you take there? What did you take at Limestone?
I took business. So I took business management and marketing.
Yeah.
So it was good. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So that's a pretty broad degree to take. So I knew it would transfer over.
What was the class you slept through the most?
Finance for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
that just sounds tiring.
Yeah, finance is terrible. And we had a teacher that English was his second language, so it was really hard to follow. On top of it being really dry, so yeah, that was a sleeper for sure.
You mentioned there was a bunch of Canadians there while you were there. There's a good pipeline at Limestone. Who were some of the guys you were there with?
Shane Jackson, Riley Lowland.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah, they're so. Jackson Decker was there. You know Jackson.
He's big into mountain biking or dirt biking now, I think still.
Yeah, mountain biking. You bet. Yeah. So he was there. I mean, there's a ton. Like we had my brother was there. Vinny was there.
Yeah.
A bunch of Eastern guys. There's Todd Kozak, Todd Nagasuji. Yeah, the list kind of goes on. But I guess Colton Watkinson was there too.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
he was there at the end, like my last year.
Right.
Yeah, and then after I left, obviously they got a bunch of other guys too. So like you said, it's a pipeline. But Shane and Riley and Jackson were kind of in my graduating class. So yeah, I was close with those guys.
You guys, like, obviously in the National Lacrosse League, all the players are really close and the bonds are really tight. You guys still keep in touch with a lot of those guys during the off season and talk about Limestone life when you get together during season?
Oh, you bet. Yeah. The Limestone subject doesn't get brought up much until we're all together, and then all the stories start coming out. You're like, oh,
get a little bit of fuel in you and the memories start flowing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You kind of, I wouldn't say you forget about it, but it brings back some pretty hilarious memories. So yeah, it was good.
You go from Limestone to Saskatoon. Two very similar yet different locales.
Well, I actually went to Calgary first.
Oh, it was Calgary, then Saskatoon. So that's completely different from Limestone, Gaffney, South Carolina.
Yes, exactly.
What was your time like in Calgary? Because you were young then, fresh in the league, just getting your feet wet under Kurt Malosky.
Yeah, it was good. Huge learning curve, a lot different than obviously school and junior. It's professional. Like you got to hold yourself to a different standard, and everyone is extremely good. So I came in and I had a good training camp. I played the first few games. There was an injury, so I got lucky. I got to play, and then that player came back from injury, and then I kind of had a string of injuries after that. So Achilles, a shoulder, concussion kind of thing, and I never really got my feet under me after that. I also had I shouldn't have done it, but I had a job, an oil and gas job. So I'd fly up north. I was a superintendent up north, so I'd fly up north, fly back, fly out to a game, fly back, fly up. So it wasn't a very good recipe for success either. So that definitely didn't help. So kind of a combination of things. Didn't really. I didn't do myself any favors. So,
a lot of people know Mouse from just seeing his interviews at halftime and him just kind of being a very fiery, passionate guy. What's he like as a coach from a guy that's played under him?
Yeah, you nailed it on the head. He's very passionate. And it's winning or nothing, right? So it can be tough. He's tough on you. But it's all for the right reasons. So he was a great junior coach for me in the NL. Just again, like I said, the way I came into the professional league like the NL, and the way I kind of approached it didn't make him super happy. Where I was like, well, I'm going to be late for this because I'm just flying in for that, and he didn't like that too much, right? So I think that was kind of another, that's definitely another issue. So I thought he is a great coach, and I've always liked Kurt. So I have nothing nothing bad to say about him. I mean, he's one of the best minds in the game. So it just didn't work out between us and Calgary. So I got, and you know what? Everything happens for a reason. So I got to get shipped over to San Diego, or not San Diego, Sask. Yeah. And that was all Whitby guys that I knew and Coquitlam guys.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it was super exciting for me. So
you weren't on that 2010 Minto team, right? That was too early for you, or were you on that team?
I was on the team.
Yeah. So that's still one of the best junior teams I've ever witnessed. How cool was it to be able to play pro ball with guys you grew up with in Saskatchewan? Like, because that, when you look at that roster, it was guys from that 2010 team and the 2011 Whitby Minto Cup team. It had to have been a pretty cool dynamic.
Yeah, it was cool. And I thought it was really neat how Keenan brought both those teams together. And everyone got along great. So it was a really good atmosphere. I mean, I have a picture of Churchy and I running track and field when we were in elementary school. So,
that's awesome.
I mean, Cornwall, I've grown up with him since I was a kid. Like, there's a whole bunch, Marty Dinsdale, Ben McIntosh. I've known, well, his dad and one of my dad's friends are the kind of the guys that got me into lacrosse. Right. I was on their hockey team. I was 5, I believe. And they said, you should join lacrosse. And then Jim was my coach. So, yeah. So it's awesome. Yeah. It doesn't get much better than that.
And then you get to win a title with all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I was riding pine, but I couldn't have been any happier being there with those guys.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? If you ride pine and you win a belt, you still did something to help your team there. I remember when with the Shamrocks, we won the 03 Man Cup, and I just didn't feel like I was a part of it. But someone told me all the little things that you did, from being there to practices to helping guys prepare, all those things go a long way into championship teams. And whether you rode the pine or not, it's a special moment to see that clock tick down and be able to celebrate with your family and lift that trophy.
Couldn't agree more. And and a championship team. I've said this in San Diego before. It's from your leading scorer to your goalie, all the way through the whole organization, right? Like from Joe Say all the way down through your players to the equipment trainer, to someone filling up bottles, someone picking up garbage. Like, it's everyone. Everyone pulls on the same rope, and it doesn't matter if you're riding pine or not. It's everyone has the same goal, common goal, and that's how you get there.
So you have coaches of Kurt Malosky and Derek Keenan in your first few years in the National Lacrosse League. Then when you get picked up by San Diego, you have Patrick Merrill, who is in his first year as a head coach, that first year in San Diego. Obviously, he was learning the ropes to be a professional lacrosse head coach. How have you enjoyed playing under him and the style that he brings, along with Shooter and Billy?
Yeah, those three are awesome to play for. They all bring something different. Patrick's super fiery and fun to be around. And just because you're a rookie coach in the NLL doesn't mean you're a rookie coach at all, right? It's just a different title, right? But they're all super knowledgeable. Billy kind of brings the two of those back down a little bit. He's the more calm, cool, and collected one, and Shooter and Patrick. I love their fire, and I've really liked. I've really liked with my relationship with Billy too, like he being the D guy, the D coach. So, nothing but good things to say about all three of those coaches, Derek and Mouse. So I've been pretty lucky.
Indeed, you have. What was it like that first game for you in Colorado? Because I remember, I keep saying this because we keep talking about it with all the different guys on the team that were there that night. I had one of the best seats in the house calling that game for the National Lacrosse League and Altitude TV in Colorado. And you guys, first game, all the energy in the world. Audie Stotts' first game. There were so many storylines with Steve and Holding coming back to Colorado. What was that like to be in that locker room, to be a part of that moment?
Oh, it was super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you preach it, we came in and we're like, this is not an expansion team. We're not going to be treated as an expansion team. There's definitely a lot of veteran players on there, but definitely a lot of new faces together. Some guys have played together, but it's a brand new team. And we were all pretty confident that we had a solid team. And once you go and play a real game and everything kind of started clicking, and we did have a really good first game, and we ended up winning. And, I think that was a great stepping stone to that start of that year. This first ever game for that franchise. It was exciting. It was super cool looking around the room, and everyone had a great time. So
must have had a few pops in the locker room after.
Did we?
I don't think
we
you're
must
allowed
have.
to.
Someone must have brought some down. I can't remember, but we all went out together after, and that's one of the best cities to go play in too. So it was pretty memorable for sure.
Then you get your first home game, obviously a little different atmosphere than playing in Colorado or Saskatoon or even Calgary. But the fans of San Diego have taken to the National Lacrosse League almost instantly. What do you like most about the San Diego fan base? Because they are fairly new to the indoor game.
We have a small but very passionate following, and I think it's going to grow. Some people are very green to lacrosse in general, so it's pretty cool catching up with them, and they ask a lot of questions. And then you have some people that have transplanted from, like, say, Buffalo or wherever, who are old Bandit fans or whatnot, and they're now living there, and love it. They're so happy there's an NL team there. And then there's another group that's field lacrosse players, right, that really are hungry to learn the box game now. So it's definitely a great fan base. We're excited to come back this year, and I know the front staff and the guys living down there in the markets, Cam Holding, for example, and Wesley, they're working hard to really grow the grassroots. And I've seen some of their teams they're running right now, and there's some pretty good talent down there. So it's a matter of time. Like, it's a new market. It's going to pick up traction. I'm confident of that. So,
being a part of a franchise in a new market, obviously we're getting Panther City next year. There's talks and rumors, and it looks like Vegas is going to be coming the year after that. What do you think Patty did best in that first year to really bring you guys together as a new franchise and a new team?
I think he's just instilled a really good culture. He preaches on, character guys. And in my opinion, he brought in a lot of really character pieces. And he had a really good mix of young and old and somewhere in between. So, we had Bucky there, we had Dan Dawson, those two guys are some pretty big name, probably future Hall of Fame guys. And we got Zach Greer last year. I know I'm missing a whole bunch of guys, but there's just a really good mix of that. Then we have some middle ground guys, like, anywhere from 25, 26 to, I guess, 30. And then we had a bunch of young guys, some rookies, and then some American field lacrosse guys that just bought in and really took to the game. So it was a super cool mix. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, I guess. But I think Patrick did a really great job at getting a lot of really good people together. So
obviously when the season ended last March or whenever the heck it was, seems like
I should say Steve Govett too.
Oh
yeah. Both of them, all of them did a really good job. Sorry to cut you off.
That's okay. Steve does not do many things wrong. He obviously did an incredible job with the Colorado franchise, and now he's doing an incredible job with the San Diego franchise as well. Whatever that guy touches turns to gold. When the season stopped in March of last year, you guys were on a bit of a heater. Is it going to be hard, do you think, to kind of kick back things up when we get to December or even camp in November to kind of get the wheels rolling again? Or do you think once you guys all get back together, it's going to be all systems go?
I mean, I think every team will be knocking off a little bit of dust for sure. But there's not going to be any lack of excitement. And guys are chomping at the bit to get back at it. And I mean, it's going to be a different team. There's an expansion team. Guys are UFAs or restricted free agents. There's 2 draft classes that have gone through. Like, it's going to be different. There's no doubt about it. How different, I have no idea. But a lot of the key pieces are going to be there, I'm sure. And then it's just catching everyone else up to speed. The culture's there, all the right things are in place. It's just a new season, and I think it's going to take maybe a little bit to get back up to speed, but yeah, it's going to be fun. So
when was the last time you picked up your stick?
Actually, it was today. This Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Tuesday, I picked it up. We had a senior B practice.
Okay.
And I was sore.
Does it get harder each year to get yourself mentally prepared for the soreness after every practice and every time you step on the floor?
No, it's a grind every time. It doesn't. Each year it seems like it's the same. I don't know. It's tough, but I'm really happy that we have 6 games this year.
Okay. And
then playoffs. I told myself a few years ago that I probably wasn't going to be playing senior B again, but I'm playing this year. I have to. So we had practice Tuesday and it was all full floor, like running like 3-on-2.
Yeah.
Like, I just looked at the coach. I said, "Are you trying to kill us? Like, no one's done anything for 2 years, man." So we mixed in three different stretches. So
we had our first junior practice of the year last night, and I was just watching these kids that were doing full floor 3-on-2s for like 10 minutes, and they're just dying. And I'm like, we should probably give these guys a bit of a water break. They haven't done anything in a year and a half.
Yeah. So
but hopefully
I agree.
November comes around and we get training camp, and we get to see baby Rhodes at a game soon. We get to have Wes and Cam take us golfing, and everything will be right in the world.
Absolutely. It's exciting. I can't wait to get back at it. Training is now begun. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
The eyes are on December 3rd, Tor. This has been awesome catching up with you, man. So glad that Rhodes and Rihanna are healthy and the family's doing great. Give my best to them. Let Reed know that I'll take an extra large hoodie for a PA size, and we'll get to San Diego and have some fun soon, man.
Sounds good, Teddy. Thanks a lot.